Okay. Good afternoon. This is Mahadiya here, and I'm here to speak a few words on the relationship between mental health and the development of academic writing skills among Tesol students in Colombo. So this is the research topic that I had done based on. So if I were to give an introduction of what exactly academic writing and its linkage with mental health is that academic writing is a cornerstone of a university education, especially for non-native English speakers. And they have their aim and target per se. They have to succeed in their academic pursuits. Meanwhile, on the other hand, the research questions and the objectives that I had come further and forward is how does mental health influence the academic writing performance of Tesol students in Colombo? Number 2, what specific mental health challenges do Tesol students in Colombo face that affect their academic writing skills? Number 3, what coping strategies do Tesol students in Colombo employ to manage mental health issues affecting their academic writing? So, as an individual of the degree, I decided to have a mixed method approach in my research, which is both qualitative and quantitative. So the quantitative component involves administering standardized pre- and post-tests to measure academic writing proficiency and mental health status. Meanwhile, the qualitative component includes semi-structured interviews or focus groups discussion that I per se went individually that helped me gain deeper insights from students' experiences and perceptions. If I were to talk about the role and impact of academic writing in Tesol programs and their academic performances, I would say academic writing is a fundamental aspect of Tesol programs. And it not only tests language, but also it indeed emphasizes on its proficiency. It demands integration and also complex cognitive skills such as critical thinking, synthesis, and also argumentation. On the other hand, we also do understand academic writing is, especially in terms of English, is not just a linguistic skill, but also it is a cognitive one that requires a deep understanding of academic norms and structures. So the participants and demographical aspect that I had set foot on is I targeted Tesol students enrolled in a private university in Colombo. So the participants were selected based on the following inclusion, like a criteria, where they were either full-time or part-time enrolled students in Tesol programs. So the age was between roughly 18 to 35 years, and they were fairly balanced representation of male and female students. So the sampling strategy was that the pre-test was conducted with 50 students as one grouping, and I had given them a pre-test which was a mental health related psychological test, which was also outsourced checked by a psychology student. So after the pre-test was assigned to the students, I had conducted a workshop to all 50 of them based on academic writing and then mental health, and then I connected both of them and spoke on regards to that. Afterwards, I had a post-test which I gave them an academic writing to test their academic writing skills. So what happened was, once I got the marks after the post-test, I got their previous semester's academic writing marks and I contrasted with the marks that I had witnessed during the class, and I saw that there was a gradual increase and a slight improvement in each student and their perceptions. So the data collection methodologies were how I used both qualitative and quantitative, and I after the post-test was also conducted, out of the 50 I gathered 10 of them and I personally interviewed them, which therefore shared a lot of open-ended questions. So this is the contrast of the marks that I got. This was the previous marks that I gathered in the university, and this was the marks that after I had conducted the post-test this was the marks. So certain students, majority of the students, there was a slight increment. So I showed the contrast of how the academic writing changed when they had a little bit of more advice given, relaxation, a leisure time.
Which is
because
pro and which is pre and post?
This is not pre, sir. This is their academic writing in terms of their college. So once my pre-test and post-test was given, this is the marks that I had showed in contrast.
But in some cases, marks have gone down.
Majority.
So, for example, 39 if you take. Pre is 92 and post is 54.
Yeah, I'm talking about the majority, sir. There are a few individuals, a few students that had a decrease as well. But when I had personally interviewed them, like I picked out of 50, I picked out 10 of them, and I interviewed them based on open-ended question and why and things went wrong. And then they had also said that either they were unable to, proceed and process things because of their mental health status, and they preferred to stay and remain the same way. Like they are not ready to push back themselves, or okay, I'll do this to make myself better. They are not in that mental health. They are not in that mentality. So I thought I would give them a little bit of more workshops that I can conduct with the permission of the university, so that it could be better for themselves. And then towards the latter part, I am bridging the gap through the role of support systems. So I feel like the students, especially in the academic scenarios and setting, the context, they lack the support system that they actually need for mental health. So that is what they go and decrease in terms of and how it impacts their writing and their studies as well. So one of the most significant contributions that we as individuals in the society could do is you give them counseling services, and you be there with them, and you teach them in a sense to get back on track. And if you see a proper school structure, they would fit all the students into their box, but we need to get out of that and give them the most time to get things sorted and for their mental health to calm down. And I think we have to.
When you say mental health, what are the mental problems that they have?
Depression, anxiety.
So you got students who had mental problems?
Yes, sir.
How many?
So out of 50, so for 50 as a large group, I conducted.
How did you know that they had mental problems?
Yeah, so I gave them a pre-test. So it was not about.
When you say mentally not well.
Yeah.
What is your criteria to decide that they had mental problems?
So I gave them a survey, sir. So where it was questions on how and what they do during their free time, and if they were going through a tough time in life, what they would exactly do to get themselves better. So through the test, what we evaluate, we understand that certain people, certain individuals go through mental, I wouldn't say they're abnormal or something, but they go through a mental health issue, which means anxiety, stress, depression.
So what is your expertise to diagnose the mental health problems?
Sorry, sir?
You decided that?
No, so I got a survey. I did a survey myself, and I got it rechecked from a psychology undergraduate.
I don't think that an undergraduate can decide that, even a psychologist. I think you need to, that's okay, but that's all right. Okay. So I don't think that you can easily call somebody a mentally unwell person or something like that.
No, I'm not
deep. When you say mentally unhealthy, it has to be diagnosed by a practitioner. You can't.
Yeah, so
that can't do that.
Yeah, sir. So the outsourced person who was an undergraduate, she went to her university and got it rechecked by the lecturer, and then only I went and per se gave it to the students.
Did Mr. Ramdi?
Yes, I told it to him.
Did Mr. Ramdi say okay for this?
Yes.
Alright, okay, go ahead.
So last but not the least, it is about addressing mental health challenges in academic environments. where universities should definitely increase awareness of mental health issues among both students and faculty, where it fosters an environment where mental health is openly discussed and given much more prominence in terms of today's society. So such as counseling services, peer mentorship programs, stress management workshops. So this should be made readily available to students, not only focusing on this student or that, but to all students as a whole, so that it could better themselves in terms of academic perspective. So future findings of this study demonstrate that students who utilized resources were better able to manage their mental health and perform well in the academic writing task. But certain students that did not have the courage and the ability to push themselves forward, they were still like staying like in the same position itself, like in terms of their writing, in terms of their marks and scoring as well, because they did not put like much more effort in their curriculum. I wouldn't say it is their fault as a whole. As an academic context, I think we should foster better and cater to students much more better in comparison to how it is today.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.